crypto warriors, changing our world day by day. The way of the crypto warriors, can't rely on the bankers, no way.
Good morning. Bix Weir, roadrunner.com. Good morning. Horn of Z's, your sip of chaga coffee. All right, let's jump back into the silver battle. We're preparing for war in April. I have my silver dagger, coolest dagger ever made. Got the Ruta coin on the back of it. Got a little leather sleeve. What do they call it? Sleeve holder. Silver is massively undervalued, and Theta is searching for its fair market value. All you really moneyed up Theta investors, and I know there's a lot of you out there, you might want to think about swapping some Theta for silver. Physical silver in your own possession. As exciting as it is, watching Theta go up, and it will go up, it'll be more exciting in the short term to watch silver be freed from 170 years of price manipulation. The silver to gold ratio, gold silver ratio right now is 68-69 to 1. It's going to 1 to 1. I know all the psychics are saying, oh, it'll be $600, $700. Cliff High is saying $600. Everybody's saying $600. I'm saying 1 to 1 ratio, and it won't even be at $2,000, probably at $5,000. Silver needs to find its fair market value. Silver needs the market riggers to go away. And we know who they are. All you have to do is go to the COMEX silver delivery section, which is right here, and go down the list. We know that there's 8 banks, 8 what they call bullion banks that rig the price of silver. They have a total of around 400 million ounce short position, completely naked. No Jeff Curry, the ETFs cannot be shorted by you and as a legitimate short. It has in their prospectus that they will not use any derivatives in their metal holdings. So what Jeffrey Curry was saying, Jeff Curry, the head trader over at, or the head of, I'm not sure if he's a trader actually. He might be the head analyst at Goldman Sachs, was that all of the bullion banks are claiming, these 8 are claiming that they are hedging metal that they hold in the ETFs. Just because you're an authorized participant does not mean you have ownership of the metal. Now, if you all had shares that added up to 400 million ounces, that would be a legitimate hedge. But I checked and you don't. If you did, you'd have to put yourself as the large holders. It's all reportable. You would have to report that. And the reporting of the banks that are on the COMEX and within the top 8 is not even close. Nothing close. It's not 400 million ounces. It might be 20 million ounces that they hold in shares. So there is no legitimate hedge for the 400 million. Now the top 4 traders have 300 million of that 400 million. That's where Goldman Sachs comes in. That's where JP Morgan. Actually, I don't think it's JP Morgan. JP Morgan, from Ted Butler's research, is just the orchestrator now that Trump came in and said, don't you screw with my market. I'm going to take you down and charge you on RICO charges. And then they showed all the criminal emails that the traders were talking back and forth through one of the chat sites, and hey, all right, we're going to slam silver at this. This is the stuff that the CFTC keeps its head up its booty and cannot see for some reason. So let's take a look at who they are. Goldman Sachs right here. There they are to save the day. Goldman Sachs, not their customer account. Right here. This is their house account. So it's not customers. So Jeff Curry needs to explain to this. Why isn't Jeff Curry under investigation right now? They delivered almost 15 million ounces of their short positions. And did they get rid of them? No, they just rolled them over, but they had to deliver a big handful, and that's coming up again, by the way. Get ready for it. Mid-April, we're going to see some insanity If you thought January was insane, we're going to see some insanity in silver. And then Deutsche Bank's pretty much taken out. So Goldman's probably number one. Make sure it's the house account. Macquarie, the big Australian bank. Now, these might be legitimate hedges. Might not, because Australia has a lot of silver mining. A lot of mining in general in Australia. I don't think, but it's mainly gold, truthfully. And other minerals and other metals. And no, I'm going to say Macquarie's not part of the top four. They are part of the top 8. Next we have, now BMO Capital took silver off. So I'm gonna give them a pass. I'm going to say they're not part of the shorts. HSBC obviously delivered 900 in the house from the house account. 900 contracts, which is 4.5 million ounces. So there you go. HSB, Goldman Sachs, Credit Suisse, although they've been slapped on the wrist so many times, they're probably not on the top 4. Scotia Capital definitely was, but there is news. And here's your news. Wells Fargo expands its precious metals after Scotia Bank exit. Of course, they can't let it go. They have to get another one of their chummy buddies to help rig the markets. Wells Fargo Bank said it has expanded its precious metals trading business, filling gaps in the market left by with the withdrawal of Bank of Nova Scotia. Scotiabank was for years the biggest global lender to the physical precious metal industry. The biggest global lender to the precious metals, meaning they played in the derivative markets. They were lending metal into the markets for the naked shorts that the banksters were doing. It didn't decide, first of all, it got booted. It decided in 2018 to downsize and last year to exit the sector. Wells Fargo in January hired from Scotia a trader and a saleswoman in metals, including gold, silver, platinum, and palladium, according to the bank and profiles on LinkedIn. Apparently, they didn't make an announcement. Other banks have taken on Scotia staff since it began to shrink into Canada's Bank of Montreal, BMO, and Royal Bank of Canada. There you go. So they took Scotia and they had to spread it out. They had such a big rigging operation, they spread it out between 3 banks, mainly Wells Fargo Bank, one of the most crooked banks. They're up there with JP Morgan on the amount of fines they've paid. Wells Fargo is focusing on corporate clients. Now here's where it gets interesting. You got to read through the fog. Wells Fargo is focusing on corporate clients, including manufacturers, chemical producers, and refineries in the United States, and does little business with hedge funds and other investors. Ryan Moffat, the bank's head of metals and agricultural commodities, said, "Our expectation is to grow the precious metal business, and as we do, we will add headcount as needed." Troy Black, its head of commodities, said. Now, the reason they said that is because they don't want to be seen as market riggers. They are 100% market riggers. They're trying to justify their short positions. That's what Jeffrey Christian comes in, the head of CPM Group, the ex-Goldman Sachs guy, the guy with the worst toupee in the world. Wells Fargo is focused on corporate clients, including manufacturers, chemicals, and producers. Their hedge books are not as big as Jeffrey Christian tends to believe. Jeffrey Christian thinks they hedge billions of ounces of silver, billions and billions. There's so much need for hedging. There is not that much need for hedging for manufacturers, chemical producers, and refineries. First of all, refineries don't own the metal for the most part. They don't buy the metal and then refine it and then sell it. It's on contract. So why are they hedging it? Why do they have shorts on it? They're part of the game, part of the orchestrated game. Insane. This game, it's like a hamster wheel going round and round and round. But those are the type of investments you want to invest in. Massively undervalued assets. That's what silver is. Massively undervalued asset. 69 to 1. You know why it's so crazy right now? Because they've been rigging the silver price for so long. This ratio of 69 to 1. $25 for silver, $1,729 for gold. coming out of the ground, everyone says, well, what is the ratio? What should the ratio be, Bix? Should it be 15 to 1, 20 to 1, 10 to 1? What do you think? What do I think? Follow the science. How much gold is above ground on the official numbers? 6 billion ounces. How much silver is above ground in any kind of form, like including melting down the forks? Not the silver that's been thrown into the garbage heaps of America or blown up in smart bombs or in flat screen TVs and all that. That's gone silver. 6 billion ounces. It should be 1 to 1. But here's the other scary thing. It's pulled out of the ground, they say, at 8 to 1, but that's not true. Yes, it's mined about, 800 million, 850 million, 850 million ounces of silver are mined every year, and about 2,500, or 2,500,000, what is it, 2 million, 25 million, 2,500,000? Anyway, that's tons. Let me do the conversion. Basically, it's 8 to 1. Gold, silver. Silver's pulled out 8 to 1 to gold. But here's the deal. 60, 70%, 60% of all that silver that's pulled out of the ground is used in manufacturing. So it's really not an 8 to 1 ratio. It's closer to 1 to 1. Investable investment silver that's pulled out of the ground, not counting the manufacturing silver, and gold that's pulled out of the ground every year. About 2,500 tons each. That's 32. You do the math. 32,000 for a ton. So that even that ratio is 1 to 1. So the gold to silver above ground is 1 to 1. Gold to silver coming out of the ground is 1 to 1. I believe we will see a 1 to 1 ratio in a freely traded market. That's the problem. This right here is not a freely traded market because of these people, because of Goldman Sachs, because of HSBC, because of now we got Wells Fargo coming in here. Notice that Wells Fargo added 1,500 contracts in January or in December into their house account as they were taking over the rigging operations of credit of Scotia. Right here. Look at that. Scotia gives up 3,327 contracts. Wells Fargo takes half of it, both in their half accounts. There you go. There's your proof, CFTC, that Wells Fargo is taking over the metal rigging operations, silver metal rigging operations for Scotia Capital. And then who else do we have? The Bank of America action, not that big. Citibank is big. But Citibank, it does strange things with derivatives. It's all on the derivative side. Very little on the physical metal side because they don't have any. It's part of the game. Bank of America looks like it's taken over some of that, the heavy burden of rigging the silver market. They took about 6 million ounces of physical for their house account. Morgan Stanley, a big rigger, but mainly for other customers. So they're working for somebody where they took about 7.5 million of the total delivery. And the total delivery this month was close to 55 million. I think it's second or third of all-time deliveries. So huge. And April's not a delivery month. May is. So the middle of April, we're going to see fireworks in silver. And look at JP Morgan, the mothership. 3,680 contracts delivered. It's all for customers, though. That's the interesting thing. JP Morgan has backed out ever since they got their billion ounces of physical silver and are leasing it to these other schmoes. JP Morgan holds the financial system by the balls, and they are the biggest criminal bank on the planet. And the CFTC has a $120 million budget. That's insane. Barclays, who knows what they're doing, probably gearing up to jump into one of the rigger positions. There's Citi. Oh, Citi had 1,000. One of their customers, like I said, Citi has huge derivatives in silver, but they don't do much in physical. They took 1,000 for their house, and they took 1,000 for their, or 800 for their customers. So that's 5 million plus 4 million. Yes, they are knee deep in the rigging, but they aren't the short. It looks like. At least they didn't have to pony up. We will see. We will find out. basically a lot of juking and jiving for the May delivery. So that's why I'm saying all you people who are absolutely rolling in the money with Theta at $13.63, think about doing a little portfolio balancing. If you really like this Theta move from 4 cents to $13, yes, Theta is going to keep going. Don't get me wrong. Theta is going to keep going. And there's not going to be any big pullback, and nobody's going to FOMO out of it other than traders who got burned in the last crash. So they're all out, by the way. All the traders and, I'm going to make money. Why don't you? I wish I sold here and I bought here, and that's what I did. They all claim to have won. There are no losers, supposedly. Only hodlers win in the long run. So all the traders are out of Theta. They don't even know what to do. So that's all turned into buying pressure from every time Theta jumps back a little bit. There's buying pressure as the traders try to FOMO back in. I love it. It's great. So yes, Theta's going to go to $13. It's at $13.60. Could go down to $12. It was moving a little too fast for my liking. Those of you on the private road have seen this chart, this graph that was drawn back in September of last year. And right here is where we get explosive growth, right here in April. That's the 3.0s coming out. Everything happens in April. It's going to have a 10x move from there, in my opinion. Now, the question is, where does it start from? I had it starting from $4, and it looks like it's going to start from like $20, judging from what it's done so far. So 20 times 10, 200x. On the way to $8.88. $88.88. And then, before the first quarter of 2022, $888.88. Yes, Theta's going to roll. But at the same time, the very second that silver is freed from manipulation, it's going to search for a 1-to-1 relationship with gold. 1-to-1. So you're going to want to have as much physical silver in your hands as possible. Very exciting times for those of us who like to invest in alternative assets. That's what they call these things, because your broker and your Fidelity and Schwab and your HR division at your company who tells you what you can invest in your 401k, they are screwing you over and you're missing out on massive gains. If you have an IRA, turn it into a self-directed IRA where you can hold your own assets in your own possession. You can buy cryptos in your IRA. Don't roll it over and don't withdraw it and take all the penalties. You can roll it over into a self-directed IRA. Buy silver, buy gold, keep it in your own possession, buy cryptos, trade them without tax penalties. They're deferred until you retire and you pull the money out. That's the smartest way to do it. And if you want to do that, call my friend Will Lair at perpetualassets.com. Go to perpetualassets.com. Give Will a call, give Gus a call. They will help you out and get you set up with a self-directed IRA. And then you can choose the assets you want to invest in. Very exciting times. As far as Theta, go Theta, go Theta, go Theta, go. You're my Theta girl. You really rock my world. Still working on the song. It's getting there. Actually, I'm working on my recording equipment sucks. So I got to do something about that. But yeah, Theta's going to run. All you private road members, just look at the chart. We haven't even gotten into the exciting times for Theta yet this year. The advertising campaigns haven't come out. Yes, there will be a well-known superstar athlete pitching Theta, telling everybody, hey, got to get your hands on some Theta. Download the Theta. Get yourself a Guardian node. Download the Edge node. And share your broadband. You can earn Theta fuel for free on your computer just by sharing your broadband. Get your Theta fuel. And that's going to be some superstar athlete. They've already announced that they're going to do this big marketing campaign. It's going to be on television. It's going to be on the radio. It's going to be all over the internet. Why? Because the internet needs it. The internet is broken and has to be fixed. And the only way to do that is not put in trillions of dollars of cell phone towers. The only way to do it is Theta. Everybody shares. Let's all group hug. And it's the equalizer in education. That's why all the governments are behind it. Everybody would have access to high-speed internet. Everybody. And that is absolutely necessary if we do move to an education system that is not these ridiculous college situations where you pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for a piece of paper that means practically nothing. Those days are gone. I'm sorry. I know college was fun. But those days are long gone because the government can't afford to pay for it anymore. Everything's going to be done online, and for that to happen, there has to be free and fast internet for everybody in New York, in London, in Africa, in South America, in China, everywhere. And the only way to do that is by everybody who has a computer, everybody who has a smart device, downloading a Theta Edge node and sharing their broadband while they earn Theta Fuel. A universal basic income will be earned by you just for doing what you're already doing, logging online and checking it out. The world is crazy, my friends. Everything's changing. You have to change with it. If you don't have any Theta yet, I suggest you join the private road. Go to roadtoruta.com, hit subscribe today, and for $2.99 a year, you get access to everything I got on the private road, including all the Road to Ruta private road posts, including the Theta page, which teaches you how to buy, store, and stake Theta, even if you live in the United States. Isn't that amazing that the United States is the only country really that makes it really hard to get Theta? The moment that Theta comes onto either Kraken, Coinbase, or Gemini, those are the three large exchanges that are approved by the regulators. The moment that happens, 300 million people have access instantly to buying Theta, and nobody wants to sell it. People keep asking me, why does Theta's price keep going up no matter what the cryptos do? It's because nobody wants to sell it, and it's massively undervalued. Who in their right mind would sell their Theta? Well, it went up so much. So what? It's going to go up so much more. It is the future of the internet. What's the internet worth? Is it worth more than Apple Computer at $2 trillion? Absolutely. $2 trillion is a $2,000 Theta. That's right in the ballpark of where Michelle Whitedove saw it. By the way, absolutely. Join Michelle's Patreon channel. You can get all kinds of crypto information, and she's pretty damn good. Nobody gets everything right, but yeah, I'd hold up Michelle Whitedove's track record to anybody's. And oh, by the way, she did point at me and Snippy and people who follow us out. She pointed out Theta early on. And Dick Allgaier, the crypto viewing guys, the first time Dick heard about cryptocurrencies, first thought that came to his head was Theta. I don't even think Theta was available yet. Yeah. So there we have it. That's what I got for you today. Theta and silver. It's what I've had for you for a while. But right now, you might want to think about, all you Theta millionaires, might want to think about getting your hands on some physical silver for the April action. Mid to the end of April is when all these banks are going to scramble to try to get metal. And will they get it or will they not? I don't know. But I got my silver dagger ready for the fight. Jenny Moonstone's got her silver brass knuckles. We're going to be fighting hard. The Silver Knight's behind us. This is a big battle. It's a long battle. But when silver goes, there's going to be nothing like it. 170 years of price suppression will be released. So hang on tight. It's Bix Weir. RoadToRuta.com.